Good morning everybody. Sorry for the delay. Just running a hair behind today. But I'm not going to leave you hanging. So, let's dig right in. I'm going to try to zip through this pretty quickly today. We are basically opening right about the same spot we were at yesterday. Yesterday's open right around that 37.65. We have a daily Keltner that's also at that level pretty much. We had our drop after CPI numbers. Everything pretty much came back and filled the gap. And then we started fading into close. Little bounce at that June POC. But then we ran into our trend line from the highs. Took us down to 37.41, our next key level. So wouldn't be surprised for us to get back up to that 37.73 for a test. If we can get over that and turn it into support, it could be similar to yesterday where we tried to rally back to the daily 8, which has now stepped down to yesterday's highs at that 38.22. But that's, for if we're going to see it more upside, we will get back over 73, turn it into support, get back through 38.07, back to the daily 8, 15, 15 and 21 above to the downside. If we're going to continue this trend after breaking this wedge overnight, and ultimately continue this downtrend, right? We held that 37.41 once, twice, started that run up, but we ran into trend line from the highs. And we've come right back down to 37.41. Let's go ahead and throw a little bit more time on the chart so we can see back to low of year. Auto start going slow. Toss. So, just like we've talked about with our trend line from the low of year and our other recent low, last time we bounced at that 37.41, we have given out that trend line and our second trend line from just these recent lows that sent us higher into this wedge. So we are starting to fall down out of that wedge. We can see continuation of this downtrend to the downside. So if we get that today, we'll have to get down below 37.41 and reject it to head lower. Next key levels 37.08 and 36.68, which is right down in daily squeeze and where that second Keltner is. So, targets to the upside and downside in Q. Same, man. Excuse me. So same thing on NQ. We apparently still have our 2-hour, 4-hour intact. That's the hourly. Hold on one second. Okay, it wasn't unloading everything. Right now, NQ not down as much as everything else. YM definitely leading to the downside. NQ trying to hold up or at least lead us back higher. Alright, NQ. Pretty much steadily heading down this trend line. And we're pulling up this morning right on that key level, 11,677. If we can get back over that, turn it into support, we can head back up to daily moving averages, tops of squeeze, highs from yesterday. But if we continue to stay below that 677 and reject it, start pushing through squeeze bottoms, we can head to that 11,500. $11,351, kind of the last place we bounced. And that next Keltner and daily squeeze down at 11,200 as targets to the downside. Ready. Oh, come on, Toss. I cannot deal with you going that slow. Alright. Ready's coming back down to that psychological 17,000. If we lose that, we can get down to that 1680 recent low. And that squeeze bottom down at 1660. If we can hold that psychological 1700, these squeeze bottoms, we can head back up through moving averages, yesterday's highs back to the 21 and tops of squeeze. While we wait on YM, I'm trying to load up another instance of toss to hopefully make this go a little quicker. Wonderful. My computer's going so slow. So, like I said, YM leading to the downside, already taking out recent lows. We have our psychological 30,000 below. Our next Keltner at 29,850 in this daily squeeze bottom, or even 500, let's call it. Back to 30,000, 29,850. We still have a little less than 200 in the tank to the downside on YM as far as an ATR. So she's down, you know, good amount of her ATR, about 2/3. On YM, basically all of those squeezes fired to the downside except the daily. Hey, now we're loading faster. Nope, we're not. It's still showing YM. Sorry, folks, bear with me. I'm trying to get this to work. Come on, Toss, you can do it. Sorry, folks. Give me a second. I love it when I say I'm trying to breeze through this, and and then everything slows down. Ay, 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 ay. Hey, here we go. All right, Apple at that very key level, 144. It has bounced there, for quite some time now that we've gotten over it. So let's see if Apple wants to again hit the squeeze bottom, get back above 144 and make that trip to 147.5. Squeeze tops. If we continue to reject 144, we can head back down, likely to our key zone below 138.8 and 138. The first Keltner down is now arriving in that zone. So if we are truly going to fall and reject the mean, the daily 21 sitting at 142, and the daily 15 at 141.5, we'll likely go down to our next zone below. But Apple been relatively strong. Held the daily 21 yesterday and caught a bounce. Let's see if it does it again today and tries to lead to the upside on tech, or if she's going to give out the daily 21 and roll over to our zone below. All right, come on, load this one faster. Oh, you're killing me, Toss. Come on. Oh, well, folks, I don't know. I might not get all these names just because if it's going to go this slow, we're just going to run out of time. AMD, decently strong yesterday, and she has an upgrade today. So, while the market's gapping down, AMD's actually trying to gap up near yesterday's highs. It was posted in chat somewhere, but AMD's got some oh great, down detectors reporting issues with YouTube. Well, that's helping my connection speed for sure since I'm broadcasting on YouTube. But AMD, very strong yesterday, upgrade today. If it can hold that daily 8, which is going to be around 77.75, keep trucking through the daily 15, which will likely be around 79, maybe a little lower. Squeeze tops 80 and the daily 21 up at, let's just call it 82. But if the market's going to roll lower and bring AMD back, it'll be to engulf yesterday and get back to 75. But technically, AMD can move on its own counter to what the market does, right? But if we're going to see rotation into AMD on that upgrade, we'll probably see some love for chips all around. Here's what we're going to do. And let me just get rid of this. Bada bing. Like I said, I was opening another instance of toss. It's finally up and ready to go. So, Amazon, nice steady downtrend. Draw your trend lines, right? Because we're not heading back higher till we get through that trend line from highs. But Amazon nice and strong yesterday, off of that daily Keltner that we talked about. It could get down to, and those squeeze bottoms, and based right there and took right back off. Back to the daily 8. Rejected and having a gap down with the market. But if it can get going through about 110.70 here near open, we'll be breaking that downtrend line. So let's see if Amazon's going to get rotated into, get back over that 110.5, back through that trend line, in an effort to get back to that daily 8, 21, 15, 50. They're all right above at this squeeze top. If we continue to go lower and take out pre-market low, likely going right back down to yesterday's low, squeeze bottoms, and that daily Keltner. Come on, load it quick. Well, that's better. Let's see if I can try and cut it down a little bit here and there by getting rid of some stuff. There we go. So BA yesterday, after that big run up on Tuesday, basically just went sideways at that first Keltner up. Now gapping down below yesterday's low. So, man, excuse me. Sorry for a second. All right. So, if market continues to look weak, BA could quickly engulf this first 30-minute candle from Tuesday. We do have all these moving averages below. So let's see if it wants to go back and reset to the 21 or just keep on going down to the 50. All right, I gotta speed this up. Toss issues be damned. Google getting back to that 2200. If market's going to roll today, Google's likely heading back to this key level. We only have a couple of days left before the split. Let's see if this first Keltner down can provide a little floor to send it back to the moving averages, all stacked above. If it can get back to those moving averages, it'll be breaking through this downtrend. And we only have 2 days left, so let's see if they want to run Google up, which would, pull the market up because Google carries so much weight. JPM reports today after close. Banks pretty much didn't do anything, gapping down and outside of this 4-hour squeeze. We do have a daily squeeze below, so we talked about on GS. If it starts to fire this 4-hour squeeze down, likely going right back to that 275, daily squeeze bottom, and it looks like that for second Keltner down is sitting at 280. So key targets to the downside. JPM reports after the bell, not going to touch it, but going to see what they report and if it's going to lead for finance rotation in or out. Oh, did they report before the bell? Oh. Excuse me, I apologize. So it looks like a slight miss. Looks like they're coming down. I have to look into it a little more to look at the numbers, but let's see if this is just reaction and we go back up, or if they continue to send her lower. But it could be finance dragging us down today. Because if the reaction is bad on JPM, it's going to impact all of them because they all start to report this weekend next. Meta still in this wedge. Let's see if it stays in it. If it fires to the upside because Google's trying to make a run to head back higher, or if it fires to the downside because market's rolling. If we lose these squeezes heading down to 155, daily squeeze bottom, next Keltner. Microsoft back down at that 250, big key psychological level. And there was that little news blip yesterday that Netflix and Microsoft might be partnering for an ad service on Netflix's platform. So might have a catalyst for it to run to the upside. We'll see. But if she keeps slipping, next Keltner down at 245. Starting to get a little bit better. You can see how Netflix reacted to that news, right? So let's see if they want to continue to rotate on that news. We have that first Keltner down at 173, 174. Already bounced at it pre-market, so we've got our floor. If it can hold, and they want to rotate into Netflix, it'd be a play to get back up to yesterday's high, squeeze tops, and the daily 8, which is likely going to be stepping down right near yesterday's high. In a bid to get back to the 21 and the 50 above. But if she's going to drip with the market, if the market goes down, back to squeeze bottoms, yesterday's lows, and we've got that daily squeeze down at 166.5, let's call it. Nvidia still stacked on squeezes. Yep, rotated into chips yesterday. Got them right back up where they already were on the week. So let's see if they're going to rotate into Nvidia and AMD today. If chips are going to try to lead to the upside. We've got a nice little 30-minute squeeze that we're running into pre-market already. So let's see if that sends us back to pre-market low for a test, or if it gets through that 30-minute squeeze up to the daily 8 at around that 154, squeeze top, yada yada. QQQ. QQQ. So we've talked about this zone of support. We bounced at it a couple of weeks back, got below it. I guess not last week, but the week before, and then took off from it again. We have pulled back to it. It provided a nice support yesterday. So let's see if it's going to do the same thing again today. We still have all of our squeeze bottoms, which are now lined up perfectly with that zone. So we do have a lot of zone of support. If this starts to give out, and we fall below 280, and stay below 280, then we'll likely start to fire all of these 2 hours, 4 hours, squeezes, whatnot, and start to fall back to daily squeeze bottom. But if this zone can continue to hold, you can see the trend line that we're under. Basically just getting over 285, 286 pre-market high is breaking out of that trend, and we'll be going back to the mean. I'm just going to skip straight to SPX and SPY and Tesla and VIX and wrap this up. Man, at least now we're loading. Jeez, what a bunch of crap that all was. So yesterday fought up and filled that gap, so I'm not going to market, going to be gapping down. And we still have a gap above. I'm pretty sure we filled all gaps below. Let's take a quick look. Oh. I stand corrected. Let me adjust this over. Haha, okay. Zone of support, which starts at 37.20. So it's an old gap from back down at low of year. So just like our daily squeeze, which most of the daily squeeze bottoms are now above low of year, we also have a zone of support at that 37.20. Going to be opening near that 37.40, I believe, 37.50-ish. So let's see. If you look left, 37.40, we've got a couple of bounce points, right? And on ES, we have that 37.41. So if we can continue to hold and stay above 37.40, we can try to fight our way back to the upside, break through trend, in an effort to go fill this gap. Obviously, we got to get back through the moving averages, but we are between two gaps and have filled the rest, and we're at a decent spot for a bounce. So let's see if we do it or not. SPY 374, very key today, right? We look back, 374, boom, 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 support, support, support. So just like we talked about on ES, 37.40 on SPX, we're sitting right at 374 for SPY. So let's see if they pop it up, try to go fill this gap, break through trend line, and start to recover. If we give out 374, we can easily head down to that next Keltner and the daily squeeze bottom, which, come on, even getting that daily squeeze bottom is still not quite low of year. So, ooh, and we also have a gap on SPY. Believe it or not, after that low of year, SPY itself gapped. We never quite filled it. So, same zone of support there. And going to be lining up perfectly with that Keltner. So if we give out 374, 370, that Keltner, this zone. Tesla. Definitely a leader yesterday. Fell from moving averages straight to our 681. Held that and squeezed bottoms right back up to moving averages. With a slight little gap down, we're right at our zone. That was support. So if Tesla can hold 690, 695, if we even get down to test that, she can ramp right back up to that 718. Top of squeeze, and that daily 50 is finally caught up. Will likely be landing near yesterday's high. So let's see if Tesla wants to fight up to try to test that daily 50 squeeze top. If we can get going through both, 744, recent highs, daily squeeze top. But if we start to give out this zone, 681, falling back to 657. And VIX. So you can see steady uptrend. Yeah, but we're at the top of all of these squeezes, just like market and everything else is near the bottom of its squeezes. So let's see if we are going to roll over. VIX will get north of 28 through pre-market high, test that daily 50, and these squeeze tops in a bid to try to get back to 30 overall. If we're going to fire all these squeezes to the downside and go visit daily squeeze bottom, VIX will fire these squeezes to the upside in a bid to get back to 30. But if we bounce again, we'll be looking for VIX to reject 28, fall back through moving averages. Got the 21, 15, and the 8 all stacked together between that 27.5, 27. So if we can fall through all those and below 27 and continue to reject it, kind of like we saw yesterday, where we got below 27 and started rejecting into close, we need to see that again for upside on the market, and for us to get to squeeze tops, VIX is going to have to drip on down, right? But just like every day, we can get sideways action, and VIX is right at all of these moving averages and key levels, so it could just bounce around just like it did on Monday, doing nothing. We can see that again today, but let's see how the market reacts to this gap down, if they're going to try to fight up to fill it, if they stall and fall further. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, but we got wrapped up. Good luck today, and we'll talk to everybody in the chat.